Good morning, everybody. To start, I would like to ask the judges and the opponent team to put themselves into the following situation. You're in your house. You have a wife or a spouse. You have a kid. You have a job. You pay your taxes. You're a good citizen. But suddenly, a criminal breaks into your house. They threaten you. They threaten your family just because they're looking for some jewelry or your TV. And the only way to defend yourself is with your bare arms, with something you found in your kitchen. They're threatening your life, a criminal. So you honestly think that the only way they have to defend themselves is with their arms, not being able to be at the level of the criminal since they obviously have a bigger arm or they threaten you, they don't care. Do you honestly think that the only way to defend yourself is with your arms? No, thank you. Now, we are here to show you why this is not acceptable, why citizens should have the right to self-defense, and this must include the use of firearms against housebreakers. First, let me give you some definitions. What is self-defense? It's the reaction when confronting a threat against your life. We will understand this not only as a defense of your own life, but also when children that lives under your house is being threatened because they can't defend themselves, of course. What is a firearm? It is every weapon impulsed by fire. This can be a gun, whatever that has a bullet. A housebreaker. It is a criminal that breaks into your house, as I said, looking for something with bad intentions, maybe they're drugged, whatever. But they're threatening against your life. First, we want to tell you that there is a problem nowadays. Innocent people find themselves in a huge disadvantage against these housebreakers. They can't defend themselves. They are, as I said, in a lower level. Yes.
Did you forget about the police, about other officers that may go around the neighborhood and protect their citizens?
I can understand that. But do you think that a housebreak is fast, is quick? You don't have the time to, please don't kill me, I will call the police. Yes, can you come and save me? No, this is fast. It's in the moment. No, thank you. You have to defend yourself in that same minute. So, what is the problem here? That innocent people is being threatened, is in a disadvantage, and they need to have a firearm to defend themselves. So the solution to this problem is clearly demotion. Letting them have a firearm to self-defense. Well, let me tell you how would we make this work, the mechanism. Only people over 18 will be able to have a license for firearms. This license will include some kind of training, some kind of teaching that shows them how to use a firearm. Also, this firearm cannot leave your house because it's only for housebreakers. If you put your gun outside of your house, your license will be removed, you will have penalization, yes?
And how do you consider enforcing that? How can you monitor every single gun which leaves the house?
Because there will be an organism, and when you misuse your when you misuse your arm, when you threaten other people with police will know. Of course, we won't be able to regulate every single person, but we will have an organism to regulate this. As I said, this is our mechanism, and with this, we will be able to regulate that arms will only be used against housebreakers and will only be used when you are threatened against your life. Now, we have divided our case into two main splits. First, fairness, which I will develop, and second, the benefits, which my teammate will develop in her speech. Now, going to my argument. Fairness. As I said in my introduction, we're talking about innocent lives here versus the lives of violent criminals. They're going into your house with no right, they are threatening your life with no reason at all, just because they're drugged or looking for something to rob or any reason at all. So this may sound harsh, but we won't let that innocent people, good citizens, get murdered by people that are harming the society, that are no thank you, that are breaking into the houses, that are criminals, that at the end they will end up in jail. We will prioritize the life of a simple civilian that with no reason is being attacked by a not necessarily a murder, but a criminal that is wanting to rob or etc. It is clearly unfair to leave these people with no way to defend themselves by being attacked by these housebreakers. It is, no thank you, it is not right to have these people living in their house and being attacked by criminals that obviously they have guns, they have weapons, that maybe they have it in a illegal way, but it is totally unfair to let these people with no protection. And as you said in your point of information, yes, there is a police that is around the neighborhood, but they're not quick enough. They won't act immediately, because when we talk about housebreakers, it's an immediate reaction. They just break into your house and start robbing or attacking in the moment. There is no time for the police to come. It is unfair for it is fair that people are able to defend themselves against these criminals. It is the right thing to do. There are innocent lives. There are maybe children in their house, a whole family. So the only way to make a fair system is to let them have firearms. And we're not saying that they will necessarily kill this housebreaker, but maybe a shot in the air, it will scare them, it will harm them, no thank you, it will into their leg, anything. It's not necessarily a murder, but it's something that will be that they may have the control of the situation. So what I've done so far, I have told you that in society nowadays there is a problem. There is a disadvantage from the side of the civilians, of the people that live in this house, and we won't let this happen anymore. We need this. We need that people have firearms to defend themselves, not only to kill. And as I said in my mechanism, we will regulate that people only will use it inside their house, that they're overaged, and they will use it only when it's necessary. And because it is clearly unfair for people, for innocent people to get attacked with no way to defend themselves, I beg the judges to please propose. Thank you. I'd like to call upon the first speaker of the opposition to deliver their constructive speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to begin with putting a certain burden on the proposition team. In this debate, team opposition considers the fact that team proposition has to prove us in which cases exactly do we let citizens take the law into their hands, because this is exactly what they are doing. They should prove that nowadays things are so bad, so many people die because of housebreakers, that this justifies the fact that we will give some people who, even after this brief introduction about weapons and the small experience they have, we will have to ensure in some way that they won't shoot. Now, team opposition. I will first begin with rebuttaling the other team's points, and then I'm going to present with our arguments. So we found a few assumptions that were quite not that true, or quite not in that place. Now, first of all, in their definition, they talked about the fact that self-defense is the right to defend you yourself and maybe some small kids that are in your house. And we agree that you should defend yourself in a way, and you should defend these small kids. However, we want to talk a bit about the way to interrupt this. And the way that many people can take the interpretation of self-defense. They may, if they see, for example, someone crosses into their area where their house is, or comes to their garden, they might think that, oh, okay, I think he's going to shoot me. No, thank you. I think he's going to shoot me, so this is why I'm going to So this is exactly why I'm going to shoot him first. This might cause many troubles, as the second speaker will talk about furthermore in his speech. Now, you also commented the point of information from our team that about the gun regulation, and you said that we can't act to protect all the guns, and we can act in a way that will ensure 100% that everyone will be able to won't shoot anyone else and won't harm anyone else. But first, how can you ensure the fact? You yourself said that we can act and we can protect all the people. We can take care of all the guns that will be outside. So how can you ensure the fact that there won't be some crazy guy that will take this right and make it in another direction and will take it? No, thank you. And will take it and will kill someone else. You yourself said that you can't supervise this completely. In addition, you kind of came to the to the conclusion that you have no other way but to shoot someone else when someone hurts you. But what if, in another case, what if someone attacks you in the street? You have the gun with you? No, you have other means, other things that you can do in order to protect yourself. We believe that these things already happen now. These are things that you can control when you're alone at this house, when you are with other people. You have many other things that you can do that, because of all these things, it is not justified to kill someone else. Yes.
Could you tell me how many things you can do to defend yourself against a criminal?
Thank you. I will talk further more about this in my point. However, there are many things such as you can, of course that not in every neighborhood there's a police cop only waiting to protect you, but you can call police in cases that is a little bit far away. There are already sirens, there are already like smart, sophisticated defense systems in many people's house. There are things that you can protect yourself with, such as different types of booby traps, like pepper spray, things that are made in order to protect yourself and not to harm the other citizen that much. We believe basically that the idea behind self-defense is the ability to protect yourself without harming severely the other person who you are defending yourself against. So now I'd like to move to our constructive case. So we are going to talk first of all about the idea of the right to live of this criminal versus the right to self-defense of the family. And the second speaker is going to talk about the consequences of giving families guns, basically. So let's begin. Now, when we talk about these two rights, when we are comparing these two rights, we think that there are two main issues. First of all, which right is more important in general? And second of all, which right is more harmed in this case? Now, if we see at general, we see that the government usually does things that glorify the right to live. For example, if someone breaks a certain law, first of all, we get them to a trial, we get them then, in most cases, to prison. And what we don't do is we don't necessarily kill him at the second that he broke the law, and the second that he did something wrong. This is what the government should do and doesn't do in this specific case. Now, in addition, in most cases, the right to live is more important than every other right, basically.
On that point?
We glorify that right. No, thank you. We glorify the right because this is the main right. This is the most basic right that someone might have or someone has to have.
On that point?
No, thank you. And we work according to that specific right. Now, if we look at the case of someone breaking into your house and the fact that you need to protect yourself. Now, what happens? Nowadays, we are looking at a very modern society that has many solutions to many problems that it has. Now, the people who are in this house, once they see someone coming towards their house or someone crossing their garden or something like this, there are many things they can do.
On that point?
No, thank you. Once they are far away, they can call police. They can call other emergency organizations that the government has to take care of these things. No, thank you. In addition, it has many booby traps. It has many types of pepper spray, of things that things that prevent this housebreaker from coming forward, from harming you that much. However, they do not harm him in that severe way that might cause death, might cause severe harm to his bodily integrity, to his right to live, and other very important rights. In addition, because it's such a modern world and we have so many solutions, there are many types of defense systems. There are many types of very technological smart systems that are invented in order to protect you and not to harm the other right. But from the other hand, once someone comes to break into your house, first of all, we don't want to get to different definitions about types of jobs, but mostly people who come to break to your house, they don't come in order to kill you. Don't come in order to harm you severely, to seriously come and kill you and all of your family. They come specifically to steal something. They come because they don't have money, because they don't have food, because this is the things that they need. Now, once they come there and don't come in order to kill and don't have a weapon with them, maybe not the people who are the most rational people who are able to even protect themselves that much, and we put them in front of a family that has a gun, a family that is able to use this gun, we are basically sentencing him to death in a way. In most cases, this is what will happen. Now, we believe as team opposition that when we have a solution that is working, solution nowadays, that once someone breaks into your house, you have many solutions before killing this person, this poor person, that we don't say that he did something right. However, we don't think that this is the reason worth killing him for. Now, once we have this solution, which is less harmful towards the housebreaker, which is beneficial to you, this is the solution we should choose, and not the solution of killing a poor man that didn't, that although did something wrong, is not that terrible. So thank you, and I beg you to approve.
Thank you. I'd like now to call upon the second speaker of the proposition to deliver her substantive.
Good morning, everyone. We are now debating whether we should protect the civilian's right or a criminal's life. I will begin by rebutting what we heard from the first speaker from the opposition team, and I will later develop our team's second argument. I will now begin by rebutting, and I would like to begin by saying that you said that the people in the house would just shoot someone because they see they're getting into their fence. But as we specified in our terms, that self-defense is the reaction when you are confronting a threat, not that because you see that someone is getting into your house. And when you see that a threat against your life. You also said that what if a crazy person shoots someone just because they're crazy? Well, as in our mechanism, we said that there would be an organism in charge of this, and just this license wouldn't be given to these crazy people if he's not able to correctly give the use of it. No, thank you. They also gave a solution to call the police, but we would actually like to point out that the police don't get right then to your house. They may be at the other side of the city. There may not be a police station right next to your house, or they may be in another criminal act. No, thank you. You also said that the right of living is more important than your self-defense. But what about the right of living from the innocent person which is in their house? We believe that this criminal is attacking and may be threatening the innocent life, and that's why we should go to defend the innocent person who may not have any source of defending. We also heard the solution of the pepper spray, but we would like to say, do really getting a pepper spray into their face would prevent the person from using a gun? They may have a use of a gun or a knife, and they may give use of it even though they may be attacked by pepper spray. You also said that the person may be, there are other solutions, like for example, if they see this person getting into their fence, they may call the police when they're far away. But just really the person is the 24 hours of a day, every single day of their life, looking through the window if there's someone getting into their house. We think that's not right, that's not true, and that's really not possible to do so. And finishing with the rebuttal. You said that they're just coming to steal, that they may be poor, that they don't have food, but getting something out of the person who owns it is stealing. Stealing is a criminal act. They're getting inside some person's house. Yes?
So you are agreeing with us that he is not coming there to kill, he is coming there to steal, and he should not be murdered.
Do you think that a person, if someone's getting inside their house to steal things from them, would he stay just like that? Of course, the criminals always, or most of the times, go with some arm to defend themselves and to make people do what the criminal wants them to do. Because if not, people would just don't care about this criminal because he can do nothing to them. Most of the times, these criminals go with firearms, with knives, or some arm to attack the people in the house. And that's why we're proposing self-defense. Not when they're not getting attacked, if they just don't have this knife, well, they don't have to shoot these people. We say that it should be, as the motion said, with self-defense, to defend themselves. So, you also said that if this really poor man, he can't harm anyone, he's doing nothing wrong, but then why is he getting inside this house to create bad things to the people inside this house, stealing from them? Yes?
He is not coming to attack people, he is coming to steal from them. We don't say that that he doesn't harm the people, but...
Okay, I get your point. Is stealing not a way of attacking people? The things they own, the things they bought with their work and their effort is a way of attacking. And as I just said, there are high chances for this criminal to go inside with a gun or a knife or some arm to attack. No, thank you. I will now go to our team's last argument, which is the benefits of this system. The first benefit, and the most important one, is that there would be a decrease of delinquents. Criminals would stop breaking into houses if they see that people inside there, they can't harm them. They're not in defense anymore. They can do something to defend themselves. No, thank you. They would see the consequences they may bring. Not only kill criminals as they proposed, but wounded criminals, really scared criminals with a shot in the air. They would realize the effects this may bring, and they would double think it before going into someone's house. They would think, and this thing would actually come from citizens if there is a notary decrease of delinquents through the country, which would show this. We would see this. Let me give you an example. Switzerland. They don't have an army, but every single person has an arm in their house. Okay, this may not be for the reasons from self-defense, but they are able to use it if someone steals them. They have the right to do so. And we can also, we can all of us see that this has worked, and that in Switzerland, this really low number of these criminal acts. Going to the second point, which was linked to what I was saying before. This would confirm the citizens. There are lots of people in countries who don't feel protected by their government, by the police, who is not able to get in time, who may take even an hour to get to their houses. No, thank you. And in that hour, a lot of things may happen. They are scared. We're not only talking about really developed countries who are able to deliver a good police system, but countries all throughout the world who are not able to do so. And as I earlier said, this fear would actually finish with the decrease of delinquents that this would create when the delinquents know that they have an arm that they can defend themselves. And it would be as it should be. People would be calm. They would feel protected by the government, the organism in charge of doing so. So should we take, I don't know, into jail someone just because they tried to save their lives in front of someone who was trying to kill them or was trying to harm them? We believe that's not correct. And as we see with the example I said from Switzerland, this system works. The criminalist acts decrease, and that's why we should implement this and we should apply it for all of this. Because of this, we beg the judges to propose.
Thank you. I would like to give the floor to the second speaker of the opposition to deliver his acceptance speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thought I would come up here and tell you how the first speaker of the proposition team did not understand the difference between a burglar and a murderer. But then the second proposition team speaker told us that it is okay to kill a burglar if he only came to steal, and it's okay. And they suddenly changed their case from self-defense to defending your property and giving us the justification to kill someone who is taking your TV. Ladies and gentlemen, a burglar is not a murderer, and we do not kill burglars. We only kill people in very, very specific and rare cases, and burglary and being a thief is not one of those cases. We imprison those people. We do not kill them, and we do not want to kill them. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'll show you our second point, which is encouragement, which has 3 subpoints, what the government is encouraging right now. It's encouraging 3 things. The first, bad judges. The second is instant death penalty. And the third is crime and violence. But before I do that, I would like to rebuttal the other team. First of all, their mechanism. They said that they will somehow enforce the keeping of the weapons in your house all the time, and somehow will tell the people that the right to self-defense is only the right to self-defense. Well, that wasn't the first speaker. Let's ignore the second speaker. But first of all, how are you going to keep the guns always in the house? You said something about an organization. How are they going to watch every single gun? And then you said they won't, so that goes for us. They can't watch every gun, and eventually they will go into bad hands. And second thing is, how will you ensure that the people really understand what the right of self-defense means?
On that point?
No, thank you. Fact is, people think their right to self-defense is protecting their property. How many times have you heard the saying, "Get off my property," and then someone shooting a shotgun in a movie? That happens a lot, and people seriously believe.
Point?
No, thank you. And they seriously believe. No, thank you. Their right to self-defense is defending their property, and we do not want people defending their property and killing other people.
That point?
No, yes, please.
Do you want people? You just said that you want people not defending their property.
No, we want people defending their property but not killing other people. We already have dozens of means of defending their property, and killing is certainly not a good mean. Your first point was something about fairness, how burglars come to kill you and how you have no means of defense. But first of all, burglars don't come to kill you. They come to take something from you because they need to live. Burglars are not
On that
murderers.
point?
No, thank you. They are not murderers. And even if they were murderers, you have ways of defending yourself. The police, and if it's not good enough, then
On that
enforce some
point?
police. No, thank you. You have the police. You have pepper spray, you have security alarms, you have dozens and dozens of ways to defend yourself, and you have only responded to the police. So basically, your first point falls completely. The situation is completely fair right now. Burglars are not killers, and you have ways of defending yourself. It's pretty fair. It's as fair as it gets. Your second point was the benefits and how good it is. But first of all, you said how there will be less, like there will be deterrence, less criminals. But criminals who steal for their living don't care about if you have a gun or not. They just want to live. They will steal anyway. Just like in the States, you have people stealing. People steal all the time, and that does not solve it. People have guns, but we still have stealing. So your benefits do not stand in real life. Maybe in theory, but that's not good enough. Now to our point, which is, no thank you, the encouragement. We have 3 subpoints for you today of what the government is trying to encourage. The first is bad judges, giving citizens the ability to judge. The second subpoint is the instant death penalty. And the third is more crime and violence. Let's begin. Ladies and gentlemen, by giving people guns, by giving them weapons, you give them power. You give them superiority. You make them feel superior, like they can choose whether that person lives or dies. They suddenly become the people who determine what happens with him. Just like a judge in a courtyard, they know in the court, they know what they know that they have the power, they have the complete ability to judge what happens with this person, and sadly they are not the right people to judge. A few reasons why. First of all, they are not qualified of being real judges. They are only citizens. How can you expect them to make the best decision possible, which is killing with these weapons, and certainly isn't the best decision.
At that point?
Just a second. A second thing is that they are completely afraid. They do not understand what just happened. They are afraid. They have adrenaline. They are not making a rational decision, and they should not choose. Yes, please.
We're not saying that these people will judge whether they deserve to live or not. We're saying that they're maintaining their life. They want to live. It's a way of defending.
Yeah, I get your point. But their way of maintaining their life is taking the life of another person, or at least taking his safety and his health. That is judging. That is the way that you want to do this. So basically what the government is encouraging right now is people becoming judges, their own mini judges, where they just either take the life of the person, or they damage him severely, or they let him go, which is not what we want. We want the people to be judged fairly by real judges in a court, and judges like this who only kill someone are not the right people. They do not make the right decisions. The second thing that the government is encouraging is death penalty. Ladies and gentlemen, giving a person a gun gives him the ability to kill or at least hurt someone. He has the ability to hurt someone. That is what guns do. They hurt someone or kill them. Now these judges, when they have these guns, they decide, okay, I will use this gun. I am not considering everything, but I will still use this gun, and I will kill this person, or I will damage him. They are not aware of the circumstances. They are not aware of the situations, not aware of their own right, because they think their property is their self-defense. And basically, yeah, basically what they end up doing is killing for a burglary, which we do not do. As I said, we only kill for very specific and rare circumstances, like murder, which burglars don't want to do. And burglary is not one of those things. We put people in prison for burglary. We do not kill them. We do not execute them. And that is exactly what they want to do. They want the people to have the option to kill someone, and when the people have this option, when they are completely in the heat of the moment and not aware of what they're doing, they will kill someone. And for what, ladies and gentlemen? For what the second speaker said, for taking your TV, for taking your coffee machine. That is not what we want. So basically, they are giving us the death penalty for cases which are not severe, not even right. They are encouraging the bad judgment, the death penalty. Now, the third thing that the government is encouraging is more crimes, more violent crimes, more weapons and violence. Why is that? Because when we have more guns, more people have more guns, they have more means of defending themselves. That means that we will have more misused guns, as their mechanism clearly is not stable. These people will take the guns, they will leave the house, they will use these guns, well, not all of them, of course, but it is very, very likely that some of them who are not perhaps not sane, some of them who wish to just kill someone or steal something, they will take these guns and they will use them. When you have more exposure of guns to the entire society, you're also exposing guns to bad guys, and that is not what we want. We now want more burglary and violence. And now, to conclude my case, I showed you our second point and told you why they are completely wrong. I beg you to oppose.
I thank the second speaker of the opposition and now give the floor to the third speaker of the proposition to deliver their statement.
Poor criminals. We don't kill thieves. We don't want people defending themselves. Why? Because that would mean that the government is encouraging violence. That's exactly what the opposition have stated through this entire debate. What I'm going to do in my speech is divide the case into three main clashes and prove you why what they're saying is wrong and why what their understanding of our case is a complete misinterpretation. First of all, I'm going to talk about benefits, then the rights, and finally, I'm going to talk about justice. Benefits. We, as a proposition team, stated an argument which was the feeling of safety, because we want the people feeling safe in their own house, that if somebody comes, they are going to be in the same level of them of attacking, or that they're going to be just safe in their house. They say that there are other options, such as pepper spray. Actually, I don't think that it's a thief or a killer or a mad person or a drug person comes into your house with a knife, with a firearm, is really violent, you're going to have pepper spray. Well, I don't know, no thank you, to you, but to me this doesn't seem fair. This is not what the government should be letting happen. Second of all, we talked about a decrease in the criminal rates. Well, they never rebutted this, so I assume that this argument still stands. Why is this going to happen? Because the criminals are not going to be in the knowledge that these people also have firearms. Therefore, they are no longer in a huge advantage against them, because these people are going to be in the same level of them. They also have a firearm, they can also defend themselves, and now the population and the innocent people living normally in their house are no longer in a disadvantage. Yes?
This is still under the assumption that every burglar that comes to steal something comes with a knife, with a gun.
Thank you very
comes
much.
in order to
I
kill
get your
you.
point. Actually, no, that's not in the assumption, because in our definitions, we defined self-defense as the reaction to this housebreaker when they're threatening your life. So if this thief comes into your house with no arms, they don't threaten your life, of course you cannot self-defense. What are you going to self-defense if they're not threatening anything? If they're not threatening anything to you? Moving on with my clash, the decrease in the criminal rights. These criminals are going to be scared. They're going to be in the knowledge that these people can also harm them. Therefore, they're not longer going to go and try to steal or try to kill and break into a house, because I know that these people are also armed, that these people can also defend, no thank you, themselves. In this clash, which was about benefits, they also talked about that the government is encouraging violence. Well, just like I said at the beginning of my speech, the government, it is not encouraging violence. What we want to do here is encourage fairness. We want to do what's justice for everyone, and not because these people have this firearm, they're necessarily going to be violent. My second clash, no thank you, it's about rights. The right of self-defense. Once again, they talked about other options, such as the peppermint dust, such as calling the cops, but meanwhile the cops arrive to your house. What are you supposed to do? Stand there and wait for these people to kill you? or just run in your house until these people shoot you? Of course not. We need to do something about it. That's exactly what we've been seeing through our whole debate. There is a problem here that people in their house are in a huge disadvantage because they have no way of actually fairly defending their own lives or the child that are in their care against these criminals which are threatening their life. No, thank you. They also talked about the right to live, that these criminals have the right to live. Well, we agree with you. People have the right to live. But if you're going to have a criminal that's going to be robbing in other houses, breaking into other houses, killing people, doing drugs, getting, I don't know, mad, going crazy, and these other people innocently in their house, then why should we protect the criminal? Why should we protect this threat to the society? Of course we should protect the normal citizen that's in their house and that's not doing anything wrong to anybody. Because we think that it's a lot more important to protect, to have the citizens, to encourage these citizens knowing that they're going to be safe, and not that the government is letting these criminals take advantage of their criminality by having arms and threatening their lives. That's not what the government should do. That's not fair. That is actually immoral. We cannot do this, let this happen anymore. Moving on to my third clash, which is about justice. What is justice? What we understand about justice is, well, basically what we also understand by fairness. People having the same access to benefits and the same possibilities for them to happen wrong things, so that everyone is in a most likely equal position. But when these poor criminals, because we should defend their lives according to the opposition team, comes into your house, they attack your life, they threat your life, they threat your child's life or your nephew's life, I don't know, any child in your house or your life at all, this is not justice. They're not in equal positions, because these people, this criminal, is actually willing, and it's actually, no thank you, capable of killing you, of taking your life or taking your family's life, and you are not able to do this. No, thank you. You have no way to actually harming these people. There's nothing compared to the harm that they can actually give to you. So we're giving them equal position, and we are, no, thank you, voting for these people to actually do the right thing. They also talked about misinterpretation of what is self-defense. That just because they walked into your garden, you're going to get scared, you're going to kill them, that we're giving them an instant death penalty. Well, no, because in our terms, in our mechanism, I'm sorry, no thank you, we stated that these people, only when they're over the age of 18, where we assume that they're already mature and grown-ups, these are going to have some sort of classes, I don't know, but they're going to have a license so that they know, no thank you, so that they know how to use this firearm. And in these classes, we're also going to incorporate the fact that they're going to have really clear when it's correct and when it's not correct to use your firearm. And if they misuse it or if they take it out of your house, they are going to be removed. The license is going to be removed. How are we going to regulate this gun not leaving the house? The same way you will regulate the people in doesn't drive drunk, for example. Well, if that's the case, well, you cannot then we shouldn't have the cars also, because there's no way that we can regulate every single person that gets into their car and actually goes on driving. Of course, whenever they are caught, the license is removed. It's exactly what's going to happen with this gun. But we are going to have severe penalty if this gun ever leaves the house. We're going to remove this license and it's never going to be given back. Because we think that the benefits outweigh the cost, because we think that the right is here, the right to live is here on the innocent people, owner of the house. And because we think that this is what really is justice about, I beg the House to propose. Thank you very much.
opposition and invite the third speaker of the opposition to deliver the rest of the presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, during this debate, the proposition team want to take life from a person, and the only explanation of this thing is that this is not fair for another person. So, to win this debate today, we need to answer two questions. First of all, why is bad why is bad the situation today, the problem they suggest, and the second thing is why is wrong what they suggest, and why there are a lot of damage instead of benefits that they want to achieve. So, in the area of class today, I want to talk about the first one is not justified to take personal life, and I will talk about it with the right of life. And the second thing is the results. So, first of all, the right to life. They don't really point out our point about the right of life. They didn't really explain why we are wrong in our point, and because of that, we assume that they agree with us, and because of that, this point is standing still standing. The right of life. Our first point in our no, thank you. First point in the opposition team say to you, the right is for life. This is the most important thing in our country and everything in the world. No, thank you. Without life, you can have another rights, like for example, the rights of self-definition, defensive. And because of that, we know we are considering. The government need to know there is two rights here that get damaged: the self-defensive. And the second one is the right to life. We say here, okay, the right to life is more important than the self-definition, and because of that, we need to consider that. And the second thing that we need to think of is the level of damage in every right. Okay, they're here. You're saying that instead of taking some jewels or some computers from this house, instead of taking a life for a person, we not even judge him for why it's right, and because of that, they can wrote this law. Moreover, they didn't really explain us why it's justified that we take person life, because he can hurt them. He can hurt our society. Moreover, they don't understand the difference between thieves and housebreakers instead of murders. Okay, housebreakers come to steal stuff. They are afraid of us. Because of that, just a minute. Because of that, they come mostly at night to steal something. The most possible situation would be if they are actually visit, see each other, they actually will run away or escape from this house and not just to attack. Also, also they say about all their case based on the situation that a murder came into the house in order to kill the person there. And because of that, we can also talk about that, because there is a lot of mostly the situation that will be this is the thief that come into the house in order to steal stuff and not in order to kill stuff. No, thank you. Yes.
So you have never heard of a housebreaker, a criminal that attacks the person? No, they just run away. They never attack.
Thank you very much. In most situations, the thieves are coming with not any defensive actors, and because of that, we can give every person in our society, in every house, a gun in order to kill him or not, to scare him. Like they said that this is a way to scare they scare the person that break out in your house. So there's a lot of another solution to scare him in order to make him get out of the house. Moreover, they say that it's just a second. People also, if they see that this person not coming to attack them, so they don't shoot. So I don't understand how they can assume that in so a patient, if they be so nervous, those families to see some guy get entered in the house, how can assume that they don't really shoot at him if this is coming and not touching him? No, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the rest of this debate, all the points, they didn't really explain us how this is going to work, and it didn't explain us, it didn't show us the the situation, the normal situation that mostly act and mostly happen, they didn't show us, and this is why their case is not standing. The first point of their case is not proof in any of us in anything, not proof, and the only explanation that they give us is not fair. Instead, we are the opposition team show you how the government needs to look at every right. We need to see about the right of life instead of the right of self-defensive. And because of that, we had proved you today why we are running this debate. Moreoverly, they...
On that point,
Yes.
why should we protect the criminal lives and not their civilians in their houses, right?
Thank you very much. The government need to protect everybody's rights. They say also in their points, they say that if a person break a law, use drug, driving in a high speed, so they don't have a rights. Oh, come on, the government really protected every rights and rights they have. Also, and also they get really judgments to judge them. No, thank you, to judge them, and they really have the opportunity to defend themselves. So this is really ridiculous by you saying that they don't have rights if they are using drug or break the law. So you didn't understand clearly why you don't have rights. Yes.
Can you show me in what part of our speech did we ever say that these criminals have no rights? We're just saying that we should protect the nice people rights.
So, well, obviously the government don't see the nice people, the bad people, the people that don't like the country or something like that, okay? So, like, you saying that, you assume that every thief that came into the house in order to steal stuff, they come with a gun. This is like, actually, look at the situation today in the reality today. We don't have like stuff like this. The most percent of people at thieves that came into the house in order to steal are afraid of us, and because of that they are coming in in the night and all this stuff, and they don't have self-defense. And they assume that all the people are really completely normal and really completely will be relaxed when a person come into the house and they won't shoot. Oh, come on, this is ridiculous sentence. And it didn't prove why it's going to... No, thank you. It didn't prove us why it's really going to happen. So actually the opposition team really showed you and prove you why it's not why it's bad and why it's wrong to do that. And moreover, we really gave you examples. Moreover, I want to say something about less breaking the house, because they say that because they have a gun, so those thieves and the breakers' house will think twice. Well, in America, this law is in. Like in America, every person that wants a gun in order to protect himself in the house, he can get it. And we don't see any situation that there is no break house at all. We do see, and the situation. No, thank you. And the situation really happened in the United States, and because of that, this is not standing, because we have another explanation that show you that is really not good. And this is why we won this debate. All those points, for example, in conclusion, all their points, they didn't really show us and didn't prove us in a really explanation. They just throw facts and example in order and hope to really prove their case. But however, we prove the case, we show you, we explain you, we give you examples, and we are possibly need to win this debate. And I hope that you are thinking as well as we think. So I beg you to propose, and thank you.
I thank the third speaker of the opposition, and now give the floor to the reply speaker from the opposition team.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this debate, we've seen from the proposition side an idea to give every citizen that is qualified, okay, a gun, that then he will be able to decide who will live and who will die in a certain situation. Now, team proposition needs few ideas behind this and few things that basically prevent them from having this plan working. In my speech, I'm going to divide my speech into two main issues that were in this debate. First of all, what actually happens once we give a gun and once a situation of breaking into a house is happening. And the second one is, when do we let, as them, as the government, when do we let citizens the judgment to choose who lives and who dies, who continues with their life and basically who doesn't. So let's begin. Let's look at the situation that their plan is working. That we completely fail in this debate, that their plan is working. So, and they do give every person a gun, every family a gun. So if someone breaks into their house, according to their plan and their marvelous ideas that these people will get guidance, these people will be able to know when to shoot and how to shoot. So once a burglar comes into their house and threatens them exactly, they will know exactly what to do with the gun. They will know that they won't shoot him before this. They know that they will first shoot them in the air, in the legs, and they won't harm them severely. But basically, that won't happen. There's just no chance that every person will have the rational thinking once they see someone coming towards them to attack them. They don't even have to come that close to hold them or to push them. Even if they see someone strange comes into a stranger comes into their house, they won't have this rational thinking of whether should I shoot into their legs, to the air, what should I do first? Oh my god, what am I supposed to do? They will just take the gun and they will shoot this burglar. Now, we're not saying that the fact that this burglar came to steal something is good. However, we are not saying that this is the reason that they should let someone shoot him. Now, why don't we let basically citizens do this judgment? Why do we have police? Why do we have government? So the second main area in this debate is the times that we let citizens do this judgment. So Team Proposition came with the idea that when someone threatens you, you have the right to kill him. You have the right not to kill him, to severely harm them. You have the right to use a gun, which is not in the base, not comes as something positive, but something to harm him. And this is legitimate basically because of this. You say that you are in this exact position to judge him. Now, we as Team Opposition come here and say that this is exactly why you shouldn't let. We have the government, we have many courts, we have the police, we have many systems that came up as a democratic country in order to protect both sides of the citizens, even the not that good citizens and even the better citizens who didn't do anything. However, these people, unlike the poor citizens, are qualified to do these things. They are qualified to judge who did this thing wrong. They are qualified to hear all the explanations and to determine who was right in this case. Citizens are not the ones who should be taking the lead into their hands. They are not the ones who should determine the continuing life of this specific person. Mostly because they're, first of all, not qualified, and because many things happen in that specific time that they can't deal with, unlike the government, unlike courts, unlike judges, unlike people who are qualified and do know how to do these things. So basically in this debate, we've shown you two main ideas. That first of all, we shouldn't determine whose lives is more important. The status quo is already good enough. And thirdly, that we shouldn't let citizens determine who lives and who dies and not let it to the judges. So thank you, and I beg you to oppose.
I thank the last speaker from the opposition team and now give the floor to the last speaker of this debate.
Good morning once again. I am here to deliver the reply speech for our team, and I would like to do so with four main questions. The first one, are pepper spray and police the best solution to get your life saved? The second, should we punish someone for harming another person only because he was trying to defend their own life? The third one, should we protect criminals' life? And the last one, is it unfair to take the criminal's life but fair to kill an innocent person? The answer for these questions are no, 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 and no. I will begin by the first one. Are pepper spray and police the best solutions to get your life saved? Throughout our team's arguments and speeches, we proved that they're not the best solution for this. Yes, they may work in some occasions, in some acts, but criminals are able to attack the people with stronger weapons. The pepper won't prevent this criminal to attack the people who may be trying to defend themselves with this system, which may not really work. And to the police aspect, police, yes, it is here to defend people, but they not always work. They are not able to get instantly to every single house who may be being attacked. And we proved this throughout our speech, and being them the only solutions we heard from the opposition team. So people should be able to defend their lives effectively. They should be able to live. They have the right to do so. Now going to the second question. Should we punish someone for harming another person only because he was trying to save their life? That is an obvious no question. Some innocent person can get punished or go to jail just because he tried to protect his life or their son's life. The criminal is the one who is doing something wrong, who came there to attack. Because we've heard that they may not go with a weapon, but come on, let's be realistic. They always have something to defend. Because if not, why are people in the houses scared from these attacks? Because their lives in danger. And the solution we give is the correct one for this. We have an example, and actually with the example we heard from the Americans too, we know that this system works. These arms may be misused, these weapons may be misused, but most of the times with the example we gave and with the examples we heard that this system works, that criminal acts decrease, but even though this may be misused, but the mechanism we propose actually works for this system. Now going to the third question. Should we protect criminals' life? Of course not. They are not doing a right thing by doing this act. That's what we mainly heard from the opposition team, that they were poor, that it's not that bad that they do it because they're not killing anyone. But we actually think that they should fear to go inside these houses because of the police, because of jail, or because they may get wounded or harmed. And now I would like to conclude this with the fourth and last question. Is it unfair to take the criminal's life, but not fair to kill an innocent people? Well, we heard that it was unfair we heard this from the opposition team, and we believe that it's firmly no. As we said, it's a misuse of this arm would be penalized if this person kills the criminal or actually misuse it by going to the street. It's not correct to defend someone who is threatening other people, who may be killing other people, who may be harming the other ones. We believe that it's not correct to defend them. We believe that civilians are innocently in their house, so they have no right to just die because of this. Because of this, we beg the judges to propose.
And both teams invite the philosopher
Okay.